You open your eyes for the very first time in a sterile white room that smells like antiseptic. Congratulations! You've just been born Jane Ives. Not that anyone will ever call you that. Within seconds of entering this world, you're ripped away from your mother's arms by men in lab coats. Your mother is screaming somewhere down the hall. She doesn't know it yet, but she'll never hold you again. The doctors will tell her you were a miscarriage, a tragic loss. Meanwhile, you're being carried deeper into Hawkins National Laboratory, where a man with cold eyes and a colder smile is waiting for you. His name is Dr. Martin Brenner. You call him Papa. Welcome to your childhood. The first thing ripped away from you in the lab is your name. You're now a number, 11, subject 011, one of many numbered children in Brenner's collection. Kids outside the Hawkins lab have a nursery. You have a cell. White walls, fluorescent lights, no windows. The only color comes from a rainbow painted on the door of the playroom. The Rainbow Room, where you and your lab siblings are allowed to interact under strict supervision. Your toys are tests. Your playtime is training. And your bedtime stories are electroshock sessions if you don't perform well enough. At 2 years old, most kids are learning to walk and talk. You're learning to move objects with your mind while Dr. Brenner scribbles notes on clipboards. If you fail, you go back to your cell. If you succeed, you get a pat on the head from him and maybe a few extra minutes in the Rainbow Room. This is love, as far as you know. This is family. By the time you're 8, you've figured out how things work around here. The older kids bully the younger ones. Papa runs tests that leave you bleeding from your nose. And nobody is actually your friend. Except for one person. There's an orderly who works at the lab. He's a young man with soft eyes who cleans the floors and brings you food. He tells you that you're special, that the other kids are jealous, that if you just learn to channel your anger, you'll be more powerful than all of them combined. His name is Henry, and he's the closest thing you have to a friend. He's also about to turn your life upside down. September 8th, 1979. Henry has been whispering to you for weeks. He tells you that Papa is a monster, that if you help him, he can help you escape. All you have to do is remove a small device from his neck, a chip that's suppressing his abilities. You trust him. Why wouldn't you? He's the only person who's ever been genuinely kind to you. So you focus. You reach out with your mind, and you pull. The moment the chip comes free, Henry changes. His soft eyes go hard. His kind smile twists into something terrible. And then he walks out of the room and starts killing everyone. Every single person. The scientists, the guards, the children. Your lab siblings are slaughtered in minutes. Their bodies twist and break as Henry tears through the laboratory, painting the Rainbow Room red. When he comes back for you, he's not pretending anymore. His real name is Henry Creel. He murdered his own family when he was a child, and now he wants you to join him in destroying humanity. Hard pass. You fight back. You're just a child, but something unlocks inside you. Something raw and ancient and terrifying. You channel everything. All the fear, all the rage, all the pain of your 8 miserable years on this planet. Energy erupts from your hands. The walls crack. The lights explode. Henry staggers backward as reality itself begins to tear open behind him. A gate rips through the fabric of space, a doorway to somewhere dark and wreathing and wrong. You scream. You push with everything you have, and Henry Creel is pulled through, his skin cracking and burning as he disappears into the void. The gate seals shut. When Papa finds you, you're standing alone in a room full of corpses. You're 8 years old. And you've just killed everyone you've ever known. Well, almost everyone. Your mind can't handle what happened, so it simply deletes it. The memories of Henry, the massacre, all of it gets locked away in your subconscious. For the next 4 years, you're alone. Just you, Papa, and an endless parade of experiments designed to turn you into a weapon. November 6th, 1983, you're 12 years old. Papa has a new assignment. There's something on the other side of that void and he wants you to make contact with it. So you sink into the tank. You reach out into the darkness and you find something. It's not Henry. It's something worse. The creature is humanoid, but wrong. Faceless, its head splits open like a flower to reveal rows upon rows of teeth, and then it follows you back. The thing tears through the laboratory. In the chaos, you see your chance. For the first time in your life, you run through the hallways, out a drainage pipe, and into a world you've never seen. It's November. It's cold. You're wearing nothing but a hospital gown. You don't know what trees are. You don't know what stars are. All you know is that you're finally free. And you're absolutely terrified. You stumble into a diner, half frozen and starving. A man named Benny finds you trying to steal food. He's big and loud, but then he does something no one has ever done before. He feeds you, gives you clothes, asks if you're okay. You don't know how to respond. When he asks your name, you show him the tattoo on your wrist, 011. Benny calls social services. He thinks he's helping. 20 minutes later, a woman shows up claiming to be from Child Protective Services. She smiles at Benny, thanks him for his concern, and shoots him in the head. You run, again, into the darkness, into the trees. That night, you encounter something even stranger. Other children. 3 boys, and they are not like you and your lab siblings. They're wandering through the forest with flashlights, calling out for their missing friend Will, when they find you instead. The one with dark hair, they call him Mike, looks at you with something you've never seen before. Curiosity, concern, maybe even kindness. He takes you to his house, hides you in his basement, gives you dry clothes and something called Eggos that might be the most delicious thing you've ever tasted. You can stay here, he says. We'll keep you safe. You don't know what safe means, but you know you don't want to leave. Over the next week, you learn things they didn't teach in the Hawkins lab. You learn about friendship, real friendship. Mike, Dustin, and Lucas are weird and loud and they argue constantly, but they care about each other in a way you've never witnessed. You learn about family. Mike's mom making breakfast, his sister being annoying, his dad ignoring everyone. It's chaotic and imperfect and nothing like the clinical precision of Hawkins' lab. And you learn about feelings. There's this weird fluttery thing that happens in your chest whenever Mike looks at you. You don't have a word for it yet. For one brief, shining week, you get to be something approaching normal. Then the bad men come. Papa's agents track you down. The Demogorgon starts hunting anyone connected to you and you realize something terrible. Everyone who gets close to you gets hurt. You think something is wrong with you. A strange guilt settles in your chest like a second heartbeat. It will never leave. The hunt for Will leads everyone to Hawkins Middle School. You, the boys, the cops, the scientists, all converging on the same place as the Demogorgon closes in. Brenner's men corner you first. They drag you toward the vans. But then the lights start flickering. The walls start cracking. The monster breaks through. In the chaos, you realize there's only one way to end this. You look at Mike, this boy who showed you kindness when you'd never known any, and you say goodbye. Then you turn to face the monster. You channel everything you have. The Demogorgon shrieks as your power tears it apart. And then you're gone too. You wake up in the Upside Down. It's dark, it's cold. Ash falls like snow and the air burns your lungs. You wander through a nightmare version of Hawkins until you find a small tear in reality, a way back through. But when you escape, you can't go home to Mike. Brenner's people are still looking for you, so you hide in the woods for a month, eating squirrels and sleeping under logs. Eventually, Chief Hopper, the cop who helped save Will, finds you. He takes you to an old cabin in the middle of nowhere. You can stay here, he says, but you can't leave, not until it's safe. You've traded one prison for another, but at least this one has Eggos. The cabin becomes your world for almost a year. Hopper sets rules. Keep the curtains closed, keep the door locked, never leave, never let anyone know you're alive. Mike calls you every night on his walkie-talkie, 353 days straight. He sits in his basement and talks to you, hoping you can hear him. You can hear him, you just can't respond. So you sit in the dark listening to the voice of the boy who loves you, unable to say a single word back. This is a different kind of torture than the lab. Somehow, it's worse. When you finally break Hopper's rules and sneak out to see Mike, you find him laughing with another girl, a redhead named Max. You don't understand jealousy yet. All you know is that she's standing where you should be standing. When you get home, you and Hopper have a screaming match that ends with you shattering every window in the cabin. This is what passes for family now. Somehow, it's still better than what you had before. Something is happening in Hawkins. Will has been having visions, dark, terrible visions of a shadow spreading over the town. And now that shadow has found its way inside him. The Mind Flayer, they call it, a massive entity from the upside down, and it's using Will as its puppet. So you do what you always do. Walk into danger and use your powers until you collapse. You close the gate. You save everyone. And when it's over, Hopper adopts you. Legally, for the first time in your life, you have a real name. Jane Hopper. A month later, you go to the snowball dance. Mike sees you in your dress and his jaw drops. You dance together. You kiss under the disco lights. For one perfect moment, you're just a normal girl at a normal dance. It won't last. It never does. Summer, 1985. You're 14, and life is almost good. You have a boyfriend. You have friends, including Max. Yeah, the same Max you were jealous of. Turns out she wasn't trying to steal Mike. She was just a new kid trying to fit in. And now she's your best friend. The first real girlfriend you've ever had. You have a dad who grumbles about you and Mike, but secretly loves seeing you happy. You go shopping. You eat ice cream. You spy on boys using your powers because you're a teenager and teenagers are ridiculous. For 3 months, you get to be normal. Then the Mind Flayer comes back. The battle at Starcourt Mall takes everything from you. You fight a monster made of melted flesh. You tear a piece of it out of your own leg with your bare hands. You watch Billy, Max's older stepbrother, a guy who tormented you all summer until the Mind Flayer possessed him, sacrifice himself to save everyone. In the end, he chose to be human. And then Hopper disappears in an explosion. Gone. Just like that. They give you a letter he wrote about how watching you grow up was the best part of his life. You read it in the back of a moving truck, leaving Hawkins forever. Oh, and your powers are gone too. That thing you pulled out of your leg, it took your abilities with it. So now you're just a traumatized orphan with no powers, moving to California with a family that isn't yours. Have fun in high school, kid. California is supposed to be a fresh start. Without your powers, you're just a weird girl with no social skills. You've never had a normal conversation in your life. A girl named Angela decides to make your existence miserable. She mocks you, destroys your projects, makes fun of your dead father, every single day. You've faced interdimensional monsters, but this is somehow worse, because you can't fight back. When Mike visits for spring break, Angela sees her chance. At the roller rink, she orchestrates your complete humiliation. She drags you to the center of the floor while everyone laughs. Someone throws a milkshake in your face. You fall. You try to use your powers. You raise your hands. You focus. Nothing happens. Everyone starts laughing at you. Then something inside you snaps. You grab a roller skate and smash Angela in the face. 20 minutes later, you're in handcuffs. Dr. Sam Owens shows up with the deal. Come with him, get your powers back, save the world again. He takes you to a secret facility where a familiar face is waiting. Brenner. Papa. Somehow still alive. They strap you into a machine that forces you to relive your worst memories. And you remember everything. Henry, the massacre, the truth. You created Vecna. The monster terrorizing Hawkins is Henry Creel, transformed by years in the Upside Down. Every death traces back to you trusting someone who was nice to you. The guilt just doesn't settle. It buries you alive. You escape just in time for everything to fall apart. Brenner dies You fly across the country to find your friends beaten and broken. Max is dying. Vecna nearly killed her. You restart her heart, but she's trapped in a coma. Hawkins is cracking apart. Gates are opening everywhere. Oh, and Hopper is alive. He's been rotting in a Russian prison, but he made it back just in time for the apocalypse. You want to hug him. You want to scream at him. Instead, you prepare for war. The final battle, November 1987. You're 16. The plan: enter the Upside Down, kill Vecna, blow up the dimension before it merges with Earth. Simple enough. Max, who spent time trapped in Vecna's mind, guides you through his memories. Will uses his connection to weaken him from the inside. Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Steve, Robin, they're all there, fighting beside you, distracting the monsters, doing everything they can to give you a shot. You face Henry one final time. He offers you a choice. Join him. Destroy humanity together. You choose differently. Together, all of you bring him down. Will breaks his grip. You impale him on a spike, and Joyce, Will's mom, who has been fighting since day one, finishes the job with an axe to the skull. Vecna is dead. But the military is waiting when you emerge back into the real world. They want to use your blood to create more weapons, more 11s. There's only one solution. You look at Mike and pull him into your mind for one last goodbye. You kiss him. You tell him you love him. You show him the life you wanted, waterfalls and forests and growing old together. Then you walk into the collapsing dimension alone. The bridge shatters, the upside down implodes, and you disappear.